Oh man, busy day at the shop today. I'm still working on the S13. I gotta keep moving on body work. I'm filming for the next upload for that video, so that'll be on the way very shortly. Also got another car just dropped off. You might see that. But I wanted to take some time and work on the Ranchero a little bit and kind of fill you in on what's going on and just everything to do with the Ranchero. I feel like I mentioned it a little bit, but I wanted to make this video 100% dedicated to the old 1964 Ford Ranchero.
And now, you're watching the political gridlock of YouTube. Welcome to BodeVision.
So what is up and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on another video. I really appreciate that. So let's get right into it today because I do not have much time. So let's go back to July of 2016. That's when I picked up this car. Like I said, Ford Ranchero. I think I picked it up, I don't know, about 2.5, 3 hours away from where I'm at in Orlando. I went over with my friend Fatboy. We saw the car, we picked it up, talked with the guys, made a deal, threw in a case of beer and an extra $100, and they actually delivered the car, which was super cool. So that's how I ended up with the car. And then kind of fast forward, we started to get into it, pulled out the carpet, saw how truly rusty and nasty the floors were. Then I decided to cut out all the floors, weld in all new sheet metal, and this was, I don't know, I'm kind of hesitant to show this because if I knew then what I know now, I know the floors would be so much better. Again, this was 2.5 years ago and I feel like my skills have developed so much more from then. But either way, this is my car, this is what I learned on, and this is the reason why a lot of my skills developed. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why I kind of let it rot away for so long, is because I wasn't super happy with how the floors came out. But they'll work just fine. The car is going to whip around and it's going to be a shop truck, so that's all good. So the car came with the factory 200 straight 6, and that ran just fine, but we wanted something a little more, so I ended up buying this parts car. This was a 1987 Mustang Fox body convertible. I bought the whole thing because nobody really wants to buy a convertible, so I got the whole thing for cheap. I was planning on using the entire EFI setup from the Mustang, but then after getting into it and customer cars became priority, this thing kind of just got pushed to the back. I decided it was going to be a lot better to just slap a carburetor on it and get the thing going. Also, I wanted to update the steering and the brakes, so I welded in the Mustang 2 front end. Now it's front and rear disc brakes, 5x114. The rear is from a 1998 Ford Explorer, so that's rear disc, same lug pattern, everything. Now that's how the car sits as of right now. So what I'm working on today is the interior. So I got the dashboard here going. I want to make sure the dash is nice and solid and ready to go before we do all of the wiring. I welded in this plate yesterday. This is going to be for the switch panel, and then also I replaced all this brand new metal. I just skimmed one coat of Bondo on there. I'm going to smooth that over and that's going to be just fine. This thing doesn't have to be perfect. I just want it to be nice, clean, and sanitary for when I'm driving around. And this dash is actually welded in. I looked into trying to get a replacement dash, but I could not find one whatsoever. So that's the game plan. I got to keep working on the dash. And also, let me show you what's going on with this switch panel. So I obviously wanted to make that panel removable so that way I could do all the wiring and pop the switches right in there. So this plate is going to be perfect. I put the rib nuts on there. So that's going to become part of the dash, and then the front piece is going to be aluminum. That way it won't rust. And I was messing around with a couple of different ideas. This was an idea I had. I just did this with a bead roller, and I don't know. I don't like the way it looks. But that was just kind of messing around. Obviously, if this is what I were to actually stick with, it would be a lot more symmetrical. I would measure it. This was just free-handed messing around. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a flat piece just like this, and that's for my switches, and that's kind of how the switches are going to go. So every one of these circles is going to be a switch, you know, fan, ignition, starter, I don't know, all the stuff. That's what we got it counted out for. Now I kind of want to give this a design because this is just so plain. So I'm going to take this over to the drill press over there, put in a little design, kind of quick, kind of simple, kind of easy. I'll show you how it works, and it's a pretty cool trick if you want to use it on anything you're doing as well. So I got the drill press over here, and this is just a circular wire wheel. And then that's going to be just perfect for the design that I'm going for. And the idea is to stagger them. I'm going to do one up top, one up at the bottom, then next row at the top, at the bottom, and that's going to kind of give it a nice, neat overlay pattern. I'm just going to freehand. It'll turn out fine. So that's the first row. I'm just gonna keep doing this all the way across, starting at the top every time, working my way down, and that's gonna make it overlay and kind of woven in there. It'll look real nice, trust me. So let's see. In the sun, you can see the effect a lot more. And again, if I would have taken my time and made it perfect, oh well. The idea of this car is that I just want to get it going. I want it to be good enough for me, and this will be just fine. So check it out. And also, one of the ideas behind doing this is it kind of alleviates some of the scratches that are in the aluminum. Makes it look a little better. It'll be cool, and the switches are gonna be on it. This is gonna be kind of like a background piece. I think it gives a pretty neat effect, and it hardly takes any effort at all. So, right here. Just like that, that'll be cool. So that'll stay just like that for now. So now I gotta keep going. I gotta sand down that body filler that I put on the dash, because eventually we gotta prime it. I'm gonna prime the dash and then the upper parts of the doors, and then just spray it with some black. And I don't know yet if I'm gonna do flat clear coat or gloss clear coat, because I'm kind of hesitant to do a gloss because I don't want the sun to come up in my eyes. But ultimately I do think that the gloss clear would look a lot better than the flat clear, but I don't know. I'll decide when I get there, I guess. Alrighty, so let's see how this body filler looks. I mean, right over here, right in that corner, it looks real good. One trick that I do is I wrap a bunch of electrical tape around my finger. That way I can just use my finger to get in that nice tight corner, and it comes out really well. And when you're done, you're not gonna have body filler all over your fingers. Just pull off the electrical tape and you're good to go. So, oh man. We're making good progress. I gotta get that sanded down. Then I gotta get the rest of the dash sanded down, and also the upper door part right here. And then we're on our way to primer, baby. So we're looking pretty solid, good to go. I mean, if this were a customer car, I'd take a lot more time and make sure the edges are gonna be nice and everything's gonna be perfect. But this car kind of has a different vibe. Like I said, I just wanna get it going, make it look nice, clean and sanitary, and this is gonna be perfect for that. So I'm gonna get my primer mixed up. I'm using a filler primer or a high build primer, so that way it fills in any of the scratches that my sandpaper left behind, and then I'll sand that primer down, and then we'll do my black base coat and then clear coat on top of that. So as you can see, that's the black base. Microphone's crooked. So as you can see, that's the black base coat. I usually film on this window right here when I'm painting on the other side, but since this car is just sitting right here, it's all good. But I couldn't film through the window because you guys aren't going to see anything, and then I didn't want to put the camera inside the car because then there's going to get overspray all over it. So here's how it looks as of now. Now, since this is an old car and it's my project, there's a couple different blemishes. I didn't want to spend days and days and days getting everything out. So I think the best way to hide some of those blemishes is by doing some flake. So I'm going to do some light flake over the top of this black base coat and then 2 coats of clear on top of that. The flake's going to look really nice. It might get in my eyes a little bit while I'm driving, but who cares? It's going to look good, and then it's going to distract you from some of the blemishes that are still there. Boom, and just like that, it's looking pretty solid. I mean, for an old car and for my project, I don't know, it's good enough for me. Again, I want to keep stressing the fact that I just want to get this car going, so I'm not spending too much time on it. I got to get back working on the old 240 over here, so that's what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. That'll be in a new video. I just wanted to get something up for you guys, and I wanted to show you some more stuff in detail about the Ranchero, and I'll definitely have more stuff on the way soon. Again, switch panel that I made. Switches are in the mail. They should be here by tomorrow, so the video coming up will have all that, and hopefully I can show you the car starting up. I kind of did a rough start up the other day because I wanted to make sure the motor would fire up after I completely rebuilt it. I had a gas can on the outside of the car, basically hot wired the motor, jumped the starter, put 12 volts on the distributor, and just wanted to make sure it would fire up. Now I'm doing all the work to get it solid, and I've just made a huge order. I got a fuel cell coming, fuel lines, fittings, all that stuff. All that'll be coming for the Ranchero, so I hope you're here to watch all the Ranchero videos along with my upcoming videos. So I gotta get back to work. I'll see you in a couple days, and oh, I'll see you this Saturday at Simply Clean over in Ormond Beach, November 10th. I hope to see you there. Again, if you see me out there, please come say what's up. I'll throw you a sticker. Just let me know you want one. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff. You know what it is, YouTube. I'm out.